ladies and gents. Outer Limb Tree Talk here. Treetop Piper, your boy. This is my other channel. I have a pipe channel. It's called Treetop Piper. But anyway, I wanted to start another channel specifically for tree gear and tree work. Anyway, first thing I wanted to start with was the new saddle I got. Just got the TreeMOTION EVO. I actually got it about 2 weeks ago before they started carrying it here in the US. Ordered it from honeybros.com. Probably my favorite tree gear outfitter, period, because their prices are unbeatable. And if you can afford to buy more than one thing at a time, the $30 shipping pays for itself. By the way, that $30 shipping is 3-day shipping. You get your stuff in 3 days because they use UPS. But this was the first thing I wanted to talk about because I figured what a great way to get your channel started by talking about something brand new that everybody wants to talk about. So, go ahead and throw it on here. One thing, the first thing I noticed, because I have the TreeMOTION V2, first thing I noticed was, first of all, the back support. The back support is way, way, way better than the standard TreeMOTION back support. And I'm going to go ahead and change this view here. Anyway, it's way, way better than the standard TreeMOTION back support. And me, I always opt for, rather than using the jingly jangly ring, which I always keep on there just in case, sometimes you need it, you need that extra clip-in point, but I always like to use these focus swivels. Typically I use the bow-shaped shackle, but this one I just got the other day. All my other focus swivels are on my TreeMOTION V2 still, which is at work. But, and I do have the suspenders for it, but I really don't like the TreeMOTION suspenders. I don't really think they're all that comfortable. They just aren't. They just aren't very comfortable. And one thing I'll tell you, the new buckles, what you've got to do is push in, then you can push out, or then you can pull them out. You can't just unclick them and pull them right out. You've got to push them in, then pull out. But anyway, that was honestly, when I first got it, I didn't know how to take the buckles out. So that was kind of a gripe I had at first. But then when I figured out how they're supposed to be taken out, that gripe goes away. Went away almost immediately. And the fact that it has all the little Velcro loops on the ends to keep your excess webbing stowed is just amazing. Really is nice, along with these elastic little bands. Keeps everything nice and tidy. I don't have stuff hanging down. Everything's really tidy. Right now I have a Bulldog Bola Ascender, which I will be upgrading to an ART adjuster eventually when I can afford it. But I use the Perfect O's, the small instead of the Ultra O's, I use the Perfect O's. And on one end is the focus swivel. And this is a 11mm CE lanyard, replacement lanyard. I always like to build my own lanyards. Which, I just absolutely love this setup, especially with the focus swivel on the end there. I forget where I picked that up from, but I saw somebody else doing it, and immediately I started doing it that way. So, and then you know, the lower D's on this saddle are just amazing. How they brought them out. They curve out more. If you'll notice, I wish you guys could see it a little bit better. But if you'll notice, they curve out just a little bit more than the old one. And I didn't have the opportunity to get the webbing bridge or the sewn termination bridge. All they had was the knotted bridge, which that is totally cool with me. I think they're great. I think it's a great double bridge. And I've always had a double bridge. I put the Petzl Adjust with added ring opens, Petzl ring opens on there, which just added weight, really. I only use the bridge very rarely, but apparently Teufelberger's idea of a double bridge is so in case one gets cut, you have a second to back it up. Whereas my idea of a double bridge is being able to tie in twice with separate bridges, and I like that. I really do. I like that. So eventually I'll probably get rid of the ring or somehow secure it over here so it doesn't constrict, so it doesn't hold the two bridges together. You know, well, I guess I could just do it. It'll just do it itself. But I'll have, you know, a focus swivel on each bridge with the bow shackle, because what I like about that is you can use it with doubled rope back onto itself and clip into the bow shackle. You'll have your main clip to this part where the pressed in is, and then you would have your termination end, or the end that comes back to you, clipped into the bow shackle because it has enough room, which is awesome. This I would use for SRT most likely, with the D-shaped shackle. But I can't stress these enough. I also have a Nexus swivel, which is awesome, but it just adds a little bit more length to the whole system, which I'm a little bit against, just a little bit. It's not that big of a deal, but I like to have the swivel, the focus swivel, because it is so short. It's almost like you're clipped right into the bridge. And the reason why I'm doing like I said, doing the Evo is I figured I would get more hits and get a running start to this channel. You know, because everybody wants to know, what's the Evo like? You know, how's the Evo? And I think it comes with the lumbar back pad already on there, because to me it just seems like a lot more back support than I'm used to with my regular TreeMOTION V2, which is, I'm just used to not as much back support, which the V2 has excellent back support, whereas this one has fantastic back support. I got into a car wreck a couple years ago, and if I don't have the right back support, or if it presses up against a certain spot on my back, it will make my legs go numb. I was having trouble with that. It really sucked. You know, to have your legs go numb while you're spiked into a palm, it's not fun. It's just not fun. I'm really happy with this saddle. I just got my TreeMOTION V2 as well, and everybody's saying to me, like, you know, what the hell, that's a waste of money. Why would you go get a new TreeMOTION EVO when you have almost a brand new TreeMOTION V2? Well, the reason is I do work for my boss, I do work for myself. So having two saddles is nice, and also having a backup saddle is nice. And another reason is I just like to try new stuff. Not only that, but we all know that the TreeMOTION has been the top dog for the last decade. And I would venture to say that this one is going to be the top dog for the next decade. So I figured, why not just buy it now? You know, that way I'll have the top dog saddle for a decade instead of just 5 years. You know, I'll have it for the entire span that it's the top dog. And I haven't even put in any of the accessory loops. Haven't done any of that. But what I will say is the red loops in the back, they put some sort of plastic inside so they can't be pulled through that center loop that separates the two loops. Whereas I was having trouble with the last TreeMOTION, I would put too much weight on it, and I would put too much weight on one loop, and it would sag that loop and pull the slack of the other loop through. Whereas this one, it will not do that. It will not do it because of those inserts inside the red loops. I don't have any of my Cara tools or anything because they're on my other saddle still, but from the little bit of climbing that I have done in this, it is a more comfortable saddle, period. It's ergonomically more comfortable. The D's are more ergonomical. The bridge is just, the multiple bridges are just awesome. They really are. They're just awesome. I love using them. I think I've been used to two bridges for a while, but to have them built into the saddle and a part of the saddle and meant to be on the saddle makes a pretty big difference to me. I like that. I like the fact that these two bridges were designed by Teufelberger to be in there. And you have, and the fact that they, of course, they use DMM hardware, the DMM knot stop, and then they have a DMM dog bone for the webbing sling and the sewn termination bridge. Not the webbing sling, but the webbing bridge. But I don't think I'm going to get those. I think I'm just going to stick with the dual knotted bridges because they're just well made. And of course, you know, TreeMOTION, they sew this little red thread through the knots on each side. Kind of like how they did with the original one, so you couldn't undo the knot without cutting it. I don't know why they do that exactly. Maybe it's for, maybe they guarantee the saddle and they want to make sure you haven't messed with it. I really couldn't tell you, but you know, we'll have to, I'll have to find that out some other time. But anyway, just a fantastic saddle all the way around. The only two things that you can't secure are these two webbing things. These are the only two things you can't secure. But other than that, everything else can be secured. All the webbing can be secured down so it's not hanging and what have you. So it's not just freely dangling, which sucked about the TreeMOTION is a lot of the time your webbing was just dangling. That was really my only gripe about the TreeMOTION was how the webbing was almost always dangling. And also we have this little cover to keep debris out of the buckle, which is nice. Of course, I've had access to compressed air most of the time I've done tree work, so I've been able to blow it out, but it is nice not to have to worry about that at all. The buckle will always It will always operate at optimum efficiency. It will never get clogged or anything like that. And it really is just a great saddle. Best saddle I've ever owned by far. You know, I'm going to be loading this thing up with Kara tools. I have a transporter, get some DMM vaults, stuff along that nature. And, you know, when I get it dialed in, it's already dialed in fit-wise, but when I get it dialed in with equipment, I'm going to come back and do a second review and, you know, and maybe do some in-tree footage with my GoPro, which, you know, I figured you guys would probably enjoy some of that, some monkeying around, so to speak. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and cut it short here and just leave it at that. If you guys have any questions, feel free to message me. You know, I'd love to chit-chat about the saddle. And I'm going to be doing a review on Clogger Zero, or the Clogger Spiders, here shortly. Do a review on these, and then I'm going to do a review on my new Andrew Arb Pro Quick Step boots, which these are actually my second pair. The first pair, there was an issue with one of the lacing loops came loose, and these have a 3-year guarantee against manufacturer defects, and they were immediately replaced. And they're waterproof, chainsaw level 3, and it even says Lavello 3, which means it could take 28 meter per second chainsaw cuts and stop that chainsaw from cutting into your foot. They're steel toe, and they are the most comfortable shoes, period, I've ever owned in my life. I have very wide feet, and these were recommended as the boots to get for a wide foot. Other people were saying that Feiner Airstreams were awesome if you have a regular sized foot, but if you have a wide foot, those were the ones to get. And I have a wide foot, so I got them, and lo and behold, the most comfortable shoes I've ever owned in my entire life. And I just, my last pair of boots were a pair of 10-inch Red Wing loggers, and those were awesome boots too, but after so much time, it got to the point where I could not wear them for more than 2 or 3 hours at a time. They would just start to murder my heels. I just couldn't wear them for much longer than a few hours. I mean, my day would be miserable if I did a full day in them. So, but these ones, it doesn't even cross my mind. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and cut it off there, guys. Hope you enjoyed the review, or the semi-review. If you've got any questions, let me know. I'm here.